Your body is your starting point. It's your base, your vehicle, your war machine. And most of you are walking around in a rusted out, barely functioning, weak shell, wondering why life doesn't take you seriously. Let me say something blunt. If you're fat, flabby, skinny, soft, you're not ready for war. And this world is war. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're being sized up, judged, tested, not just by others, by life itself. And your body is the first signal it reads. You don't need a six-pack to be a man, but you do need discipline, you do need intensity, and you better be able to take a hit, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and keep going. A strong body tells the world you can handle pressure, that you respect yourself, that when things get hard, you don't quit, you don't fold, you don't whine, you fight. Every push-up, every sprint, every drop of sweat is a contract with yourself. It's a signature that says, I am not average. I refuse to be weak. And believe me, weak men are invisible. Weak men are ignored. Weak men are forgotten. If you're out of shape, people might still smile at you, but they're not listening, they're not following, they're not buying, because they can smell it. The laziness, the comfort, the softness in your habits, you reek of it. And don't tell me you don't have time. That's the most overused lie in history. You don't have priorities. You've got time to scroll, time to eat garbage, time to binge shows, but not 45 minutes to train like your life depends on it. If you can't control your body, you can't control a damn thing, not your business, not your relationships, not your mind. Discipline in the gym is a mirror for discipline in every other area of life. You think billionaires, top fighters, high-level operators wake up and hope they feel like it? No, they train when it's cold, when it's late, when they're tired. Because every rep is a declaration of war against mediocrity. Look, when you walk into a room, your body speaks before you say a word. It says whether you can be trusted, whether you can be tested, whether you're dangerous or disposable. You want respect? Build it. You want confidence? Earn it. You want power? Forge it. One brutal workout at a time. This isn't about vanity. This is about presence, about dominance, about being ready for anything at any time. When the storm hits, you want to be the one they look at and say, he's built for this. Not the one hiding in the corner, breathing heavy because a staircase made him tired. Every man should be physically dangerous, not because he wants to hurt others, but because he's trained, he's focused, and he can. Strength isn't just for defense, it's for dignity. And if you don't respect your own body, how can anyone else respect you? You don't need to be an athlete, but you better be capable. You better be fit enough to fight, to run, to climb, to carry, to endure. Because life won't wait for you to feel ready. It will test you on its terms, not yours. So get to the gym, do the work, feed your body clean fuel, sleep like a warrior, preparing for battle, and carry yourself like a man who can't be broken because you've forged your body in fire. You only get one vessel. Make it one worth fearing, worth following, worth remembering. Your mind is your primary weapon, the sharpest blade in your arsenal. And most of you, you're walking around with a butter knife. Dull, blunt, fragile. You think just because you went to school and watched a few documentaries on Netflix, you're educated? You're not. You're programmed, distracted, mentally soft, a parrot in a world of predators. Let me make this brutally clear. If you don't sharpen your mind every single day, you're not falling behind. You're already behind. Life doesn't care about your grades. Life doesn't care about your degree. It cares about how fast you think, how well you adapt, and how ruthlessly you can solve problems under pressure. Your mental edge is what keeps you alive in the jungle. And the jungle doesn't take pity on the weak. Every day I feed my mind. I read, I study strategy, psychology, business, war. I analyze winners. I learn from killers, not the nice guys, not the daydreamers, the apex predators of every industry. And I don't just absorb information. I apply it. I test it. I weaponize it. Because knowledge without execution is just noise. A sharp mind isn't just about knowing, it's about knowing what to do when it matters most. You're either growing mentally or you're being replaced. There's no in between. The world is moving fast, attention spans are shrinking, technology is evolving, competition is multiplying, and if you're not adapting daily, you're done. You will be outworked, outthought, outsmarted, beaten by someone younger, hungrier, sharper, someone who doesn't care about your excuses, your past, or your potential, just your performance. I see people wasting hours debating nonsense online, arguing over politics they don't understand, quoting opinions from people who've never built anything in their lives. Your mind is a garden, and if you let weeds grow, they'll choke out the roots of your potential. Garbage in, garbage out. Every minute you feed your brain trash, you rob yourself of precision, of clarity, of dominance. People ask me how I stay calm under pressure, how I predict moves before others make them, how I win before the fight even starts. The answer is simple. I think deeper, I think faster, I think ahead. While others react, I calculate. While others panic, I position. It's not magic, it's mental training. And it's every single day. You want to become unstoppable? Learn to master your thoughts, catch them, interrogate them, control them. The man who controls his mind controls his emotions. The man who controls his emotions controls his actions, and the man who controls his actions controls outcomes. He bends reality to his will. You think your body will carry you? It won't if your mind cracks. Champions aren't crowned because of their muscles, they win because of their mindset. Because in the moments where others break, they stay calm, clear, focused. And that's not instinct, that's design. Built over thousands of reps in reading and thinking and making decisions, in learning from mistakes, not running from them. Sharpen your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Read the books no one reads. Study the strategies no one sees. Learn how to argue, how to sell, how to think critically, how to speak with precision. Upgrade your mental software every single day, because the man with the sharper mind wins in business, in battle, in life. And if you're not doing that, you're not in the game. You're a spectator. You're a prey. You're forgettable. Your words are weapons. Every time you open your mouth, you're either building power or bleeding it. Most of you talk like you're unsure of your own existence. Weak tone, filler words, broken eye contact. It's pathetic. You mumble your way through life and then wonder why no one listens, why no one respects you, why no one follows you. Let me tell you something real. People follow clarity. People obey confidence. People submit to presence. And all of that can be commanded with speech. When you speak, people should stop scrolling. They should pause. They should listen, not because you're loud, but because you carry authority in your voice. Not fake confidence, real, earned, battle-tested power behind your words. Your ability to speak is a reflection of how you think. If your mind is chaos, your speech will be garbage. If your thoughts are sharp, your words will cut through noise like a blade. This is why you need to train your tongue the same way you train your fists or your chest or your brain. You think it's enough to just say the right thing. No, you have to say it the right way, with timing, weight, and presence. Go listen to great leaders, warriors, kings. They never rushed their words. They spoke with gravity, like each sentence carried blood. Because it does. Your words influence, inspire, intimidate, or they evaporate like hot air. And guess what? The man who controls the room doesn't always have the most muscles. He has the most presence, the most certainty, the most belief behind what he says. And that's trained. You want to be taken seriously? Then eliminate weak language from your vocabulary. Stop saying, I think maybe. I'm not sure. If you speak like you don't believe in your own message, don't expect anyone else to. Every time you speak in public, in business, in life, it should sound like a mission briefing. Short, sharp, direct. You're not here to be liked. You're here to command. Train your voice. Speak to the mirror. Record yourself. Tear apart every weakness in your delivery and rebuild it. Do you sound unsure? Too fast? Too soft? Fix it. Learn rhetoric. Learn persuasion. Learn silence. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. And the way you pause, the way you look a man in the eyes without speaking, that speaks louder than anything you'll say I've closed deals, won respect, turned enemies into allies with a few sentences. Not because I begged, but because I spoke like a man who has nothing to prove and everything to offer. I've destroyed arguments with one sentence, not by screaming, but by owning the space between my words. Your voice is your force multiplier, your multiplier in business, in relationships, in leadership. A strong voice multiplies your strength, your knowledge, your ideas. A weak one suffocates it all. I don't care how smart you are. If you can't articulate your value, you're invisible. Words move people. They start revolutions, they win wars, they build empires. And if you can't master that, if you stutter and stumble and apologize for existing, then don't be surprised when the world walks right past you. All right? Look around you. The people you spend time with are either sharpening your sword or dulling it. There is no neutral. You think your circle doesn't matter? Then explain why you feel tired, unfocused, uninspired. You're not drained because you work too hard. You're drained because you're surrounded by dead energy, losers who drain your drive just by existing near you. Most of you are loyal to comfort, loyal to history. You hang around the same people because you've known them for years, not because they push you. You laugh at their jokes even though they're not funny. You listen to their advice even though they've achieved nothing. You tolerate their mediocrity because you're afraid of standing alone. Let me tell you something that changed my life. I'd rather be alone and rising than surrounded and sinking. If your circle isn't making you richer, stronger, faster, sharper, it's not a circle, it's a cage. If you sit at a table and there's no one there who inspires you, challenges you, or forces you to level up, you're not at a table, you're at a daycare. Your environment shapes your reality. Your proximity is your destiny. Be around broke people, you think broke. Be around quitters, you feel justified quitting. Be around cowards and courage becomes foreign. But surround yourself with savages and weakness becomes offensive. Failure becomes unacceptable. That's the kind of environment that breeds killers. Not keyboard warriors, real men, ones who build empires while others are still hitting snooze. I've cut off friends who were like brothers, not out of hate, but out of discipline, out of love for my future more than my past. You have to be willing to say, I outgrew this. You have to be ruthless with your energy, because if you don't protect your environment will poison you slowly, silently, until you wake up one day wondering why your life feels small, heavy, and stuck. Here's the test. Do the people around you get excited when you win, or do they get quiet? Do they clap for your success, or do they subtly undermine it? Do they challenge your bad habits or enable them? Pay attention. Jealousy wears the mask of humor. Envy sounds like sarcasm. Real ones push you, fake ones pacify you. And the enemy, the real enemy, he's not always a stranger. Sometimes he's in your group chat. Stop looking for approval from people you've already outgrown. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop explaining your ambition to people who never had any. If they mock your discipline, your drive, your vision, good. Let them talk. Let them stay small. You weren't built to fit in. You were built to lead, to conquer, to dominate. And that takes sacrifice. You don't need 100 friends. You need 3 warriors. 3 savages who push you, check you, and refuse to let you be average. People who talk vision, not gossip. People who challenge your ideas, not your worth. People who wake up chasing greatness, not dopamine. Find those men, or become so elite they come find you. Because energy is contagious. Vibes are viruses. And if you're not intentional about your circle, you'll wake up infected with doubt, with laziness, with weakness you didn't even realize was creeping in. You owe it to your future self to audit your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Time is the only currency that matters. It's the only thing you can never get back, yet most of you treat it like it's worthless, scrolling endlessly, binge watching garbage, gossiping, daydreaming. You waste hours like they're pennies, then wonder why your life's broke. You don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem. Everyone's got the same 24 hours. You think I have more time than you? I don't. I've just made time my weapon instead of my weakness. Every second of my day is an asset. I don't let it slip. I squeeze it. I demand return on every minute. I track it like a sniper. And if something doesn't serve the mission, it's gone. Weak men let time control them. Strong men control time. They bend it, stretch it, multiply it. You think multitasking is a skill? No, it's a lie. Focus wins. Precision wins. Clarity wins. If you can't sit down, eliminate distractions, and crush a task from start to finish, you're not focused. You're addicted. Addicted to chaos. Addicted to noise. Addicted to being busy instead of being productive. Every time you pick up your phone for no reason, scroll for just a second, delay what matters for what's easy, you're paying in time. You're burning the most valuable resource you've got. Your life is being drained in micro decisions, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and then your dreams die slowly, not because of some dramatic failure, but because you wasted your time in tiny, consistent betrayal. If I looked at your calendar, would I see a man on a mission or a man killing time? Does your day have purpose? Or does it look like a random mess of reaction and distraction? Winners don't just work hard, they work intentionally. They block time. They eliminate nonsense. They protect their energy. Every hour is either building the empire or burning it down. Here's the truth. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It keeps ticking. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't pause because your feelings got hurt. It moves with or without you. And one day you'll wake up 30, 40, 50, wondering where it all went. Regret isn't loud, it's silent. It shows up in the quiet hours of your life when you realize you gave too much time to things that gave you nothing in return. Want to change your life? Start tracking your time like a savage. Audit every hour like you're bleeding out, because you are. You don't need another hour in the day. You need to stop giving hours to things that don't matter. You want freedom, you want wealth, you want dominance, then master your minutes, master your mornings, master your momentum. Because time, not talent, separates kings from clowns. You've got the blueprint now. 10 things, 10 battlegrounds, 10 areas of your life you must sharpen every single day. Your body, your mind, your words, your circle, your time, your emotions, your finances, your skills, your character, your legacy. And if you think you can pick and choose, you've already lost. This is not a game for the comfortable. This is war. Every day the world tests you, and most of you are failing quietly. You're not losing because of some major disaster. You're losing because you're tolerating average. You're distracted. You're surrounded by weakness. You're soft. You've forgotten that life is a competition, and there are only two outcomes: dominate or be dominated. You want respect? Earn it. You want success? Build it. You want to lead? Bleed for it. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about waking up every day and attacking each area like your life depends on it, because it does. Every skipped workout, every wasted hour, every toxic friend, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're stealing from your future self. You're murdering the man you were born to become. You don't need another book. You don't need another speech. You don't need motivation. You need movement, brutal consistency, ruthless self-respect, relentless execution. Be the kind of man who's so disciplined it scares people. Be the kind of man who doesn't flinch in chaos, who doesn't fold when it's hard, who doesn't quit when it's lonely. Be the kind of man who walks into a room and changes the temperature, not because he talks loud, but because his energy speaks first. This world is built by killers, not by the weak, not by the distracted, not by the comfortable. And if you're not willing to go all in every day in every area, then step aside and watch someone else take the life you were too afraid to chase. You've got 24 hours today. That's your battlefield. What are you going to do with it? Get up, lock in, move like a man who refuses to be ordinary. Be feared, be respected, be undeniable. Be the storm